If there were ever a competition to be the best state in the US, who do you think would win? Is it New York, historically the most populated US state and the finance hub of the US? Or could it be Florida, the state with the best beaches and the highest GDP growth rate in the country? However, none of them is the winner. California stands at the top. It's the home of Hollywood and the tech capital of the world. It also has the highest population and thus the most political power. California also has Silicon Valley, the global center of technological innovations. California is the winner today, but it won't be for long. Times are changing, and soon it will be Texas. Wait, Texas? The population of Texas stands around 30 million, and it has a GDP of around 2.4 trillion US dollars. While these numbers are much less than California's 39 million people and 3.9 trillion US dollars, they are significantly growing. But for now, this is the story of Texas's takeover and how it's becoming the most powerful state in America. History of Texas. First, let's delve into the history of Texas. It was initially a Mexican state, gained independence on March 2, 1836, and formed the Republic of Texas. However, this newly independent republic was short-lived, joining the US just 9 years later. This started a war between the US and Mexico, which the US eventually won. At that time, Texas wasn't even on the list of 20 most populated states, as the desert state was mostly empty. However, in the mid-20th century, people started moving to the western and southern states, mainly California, Florida, and Texas. Ample economic opportunities and nice warm weather made these locations highly attractive. In 1970, for the first time, California crossed New York, while Texas ranked fourth. Texas upgraded to the third rank in the 1980 census, and then to the second rank by the end of the 20th century. So why did Texas start to grow? There were many factors, but one industry played a massive role in the start: the oil industry, a key player in Texas' rise to power. The oil boom brought Texas to new heights, but before we discuss that, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, take a moment to subscribe and click on the bell icon for more of today's economic stories. The oil boom. On June 9, 1984, oil was discovered accidentally while drilling a water well in the Texan city of Corsicana. This was the first significant oil discovery in Texas. Some 4 years later, the first modern oil refinery was built, and an intense search for new fields started throughout the state. In 1901, near the small town of Beaumont, the world's biggest oil field was discovered. The discovery of the Spindletop oil field increased Texas oil production from 836,000 barrels in 1900 to almost 4.4 million in 1901, and 18.5 million in 1902. While other oil fields contributed too, Spindletop alone produced 94% of the state's oil that year. During the 1920s, the Permian Basin was discovered, an oil and gas reserve that lies mainly in West Texas and partially in New Mexico. The Permian Basin is the largest oil-producing basin in the US, producing 30% of the total crude oil production in the country. Thanks to the Permian Basin and other oil reserves, Texas produces more oil than any other state in the US. While New Mexico is number 2, it only produces a third of what Texas does. The oil boom of Texas played a massive role in the growth of the US. Moreover, oil is important not just for the economy, but also for political power. So, the USA is the superpower that it is today, all thanks to Texas. In World War II, 6 out of 7 oil barrels used by the Allies came from the US, most of those from Texas. So, it could be said that Texas is among the big reasons why the Allies won the war. The discovery of oil played an important role in Texas's economic development. But is oil alone the reason for Texas's never-ending boom? No, not really. Take Venezuela, for example. It has the highest oil reserves in the world, yet is one of the poorest nations on the planet. No one would want to move to Venezuela, but why are people moving to Texas? Perhaps the oil boom gave Texas a head start. But Texas keeps growing because of how business-friendly it is and the opportunities it brings. Texas opportunities. Texas is a true friend of businesses. Texas has no income or capital gains tax, meaning companies can keep most of their earnings to themselves, something that is uncommon in the US. According to CNBC, Texas is the third best place to establish your business in the US, and it's not just large corporations. Texas is also friendly towards small businesses. Texas has fewer regulations, and business owners can easily qualify for larger loans than in other states. Texas is also home to the headquarters of 54 Fortune 500 companies, including Caterpillar and JCPenney in Dallas, Hewlett-Packard in Houston, and Oracle in Austin. Tesla's headquarters are also in Austin. Many other corporations aren't primarily based in Texas but maintain their offices there. For example, Apple built a billion-dollar campus in Austin spanning over 133 acres and housing approximately 7,000 employees. Another factor contributing to Texas' growing population is affordability. Look at median house prices in some of the other rich US states. California, $793,600. Florida, $405,000. New York, $649,000. Now compare these numbers with Texas' median listing, which is only $336,400. Affordable housing is a major driving force behind people moving to Texas. Another thing about Texas is that its growth is diverse, with different cities growing in different departments. For example, the capital, Austin, is known for tech companies. It houses many major tech companies, but it is also a popular destination for smaller tech startups. Houston, the world's energy capital, is known for its energy industry, which specializes in exploration, production, transmission, marketing, supply, and technology. Dallas is the finance hub of Texas, while San Antonio is known for its military presence and tourist appeal. Texas versus California. Okay, I get it. Texas is growing rapidly, but that doesn't mean it can overcome California. California is the wealthiest state, so it must also attract many people, right? Actually, no. While Texas is growing upwards, California is rolling downhill. California itself is driving people away. One reason for this is the excessive regulations. California introduces around 2,000 new bills every year, limiting individual freedom. It also experienced one of the most strict COVID lockdowns, which forced more than 870,000 individuals to move from California to other parts of the US. And it's not just the government. Many people are fleeing California due to the culture where people have become very harsh and judgmental.
A very prosecutorial mindset. And I don't mean the government, just the government. I mean the people.
Texas is also deemed safer than California, not just from Karens, but also criminals. Because of all of this, California's population has decreased significantly, while Texas has increased considerably. Since seats in the US House of Representatives depend on population, California lost one seat from 53 to 52 in 2022, while Texas gained 2 seats from 36 to 38. Texas's GDP growth of 7.7% is the 4th highest in the US. On the other hand, California isn't even in the top 15. Texas's GDP of $2.4 trillion is higher than that of many developed countries. If it were independent, it would be... Wait, that was a question for you. So, where would Texas rank in the world economies if it were an independent country? The correct answer is 8th, ahead of the likes of Canada and even Russia. And since many top economies have a GDP growth rate of less than 7.7% of Texas, Texas will soon climb further. All in all, Texas is growing and will soon surpass California as the most powerful state in the US. It is better than California in many respects, such as safety, opportunity, affordability, diversity in the market, etc. All of this is showing the results. Texas is climbing toward the top in every field. While it is destined to beat California, it can never beat Alaska, in terms of land area, that is. Alaska spans over 663,627 square miles, and while Texas spans over 268,659 square miles, there's a common joke in Alaska. If Alaska were divided into 2 states, Texas would rank at number 3. However, besides the land area, Texas is growing in every other department. Before we end this video, let us know what you think. Is Texas going to beat California? If yes, then when? Or will California make a comeback? Or will it be another state that will grow so rapidly that it surpasses both Texas and California? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you stayed with us until the end of this video, leave the 1 emoji in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to stay tuned.